Okay, here we go again. I've dragged another lawnmower home. I just found on the side of the road on my way back from mowing a couple of properties today. I hope it was worth it considering it got mud and water all over me down to my underwear, so I'm not going to be out here long looking at this. Look what it did to my shirt here. It's like a cascade of orange water come out of it when I picked it up. Looks to be a Craftsman. I didn't really get to look at it close. I just picked it up real quick and took off. It is very windy today. You can tell this lawnmower's had quite a bit of use by the wheel wear on it. The drive engagement cable is broken. Another thing I notice as I'm looking here, someone has tied off the throttle brake because this cable has broken. As you can see. I think both of our cables are broken. The cable for the drive and the brake cable. Okay, let's take a look at the tag and see what model number we got here. It's the kind I'm assuming had a grass catcher, but I didn't see it laying anywhere around it. As usual, this stuffed up with grass there. I'm not going to mess with that yet. Well, let's get it down off the truck and see what else we see. Oh no. Now this, my friends, is not good. There's still good usable parts on this mower, but boy, that deck is rusted out big time. I mean, that is just terrible. Baked. 700 degrees. I'm surprised the engine's even staying on it. That's pretty bad. That's the worst place it is rotted out though. This has a Briggs and Stratton 6.75 horsepower equipped with Z-Start. 30% easier to pull. Yeah. Also, upon further inspection, I'm missing this outer cover and the air filter, and this air filter plate or holder is broken. This mower has all kinds of problems. This would originally had a cover over it too that's missing. Looking at this, the actual control bar that the cable hooks to is missing. Looking in the gas tank, I see no fuel. There is some crud down in the bottom. I'll check the oil. Does have some in it. Smells like gasoline. Looks very thin, as usual. I'm going to take some of this carbon choke cleaner and I'm going to spray it into the intake. And since that brake control lever is already tied off, if it's going to crank and has spark, it should fire off for at least a few seconds. I think I heard it bark a little. I believe that engine would run because it barked off a couple of times. I'm sure the carburetor is probably toast. I had no room in that corner right there, so I had to move over here. I like to hear that thing run for more than a few seconds. All it's doing right now is just briefly barking off. Wow, the engine runs. Well, I still got lit up through the end of these pliers. Okay, well, the engine runs actually. It sounds good. I have no idea what it's running off of. That tank was bone dry pretty much, but after spraying it a few times with some carb cleaner, that engine is functional. And when I pulled on that cable for that drive works. So that's two good things I can use off of this platform here. Now the drive wheels in the front ain't in all that good a shape. On the other hand, the back wheels though still have some wear in them. The deck is so rusted out down there that when I was pulling on this engine, it was actually moving when I was trying to start it. I mean, look, I can literally move that engine. There's so much rust out in that front right there. Truly incredible. That's why you got to keep your lawnmowers dry. Keep them at least in the drive, you got to keep them outdoors, cover them up, make sure that you clean out these gutter areas here around the engine, because that's where water will sit, and that's why all that's rusted out right there. Not to mention the debris that cakes on the bottom. You got to clean that out every once in a while too, or that's what happens. Okay, I put a little bit of 90 octane ethanol free fuel in this thing. What do you say we give it a final EOL mow? Let's put spark plug wire back on. I don't think the primer bulb's working. Well folks, that's looking at the side of the road picked Craftsman 6.75 horsepower. Unfortunately, the lawnmower itself will not be able to be used again because it is really rusted out. But the engine is great, so is the drive in the front. So both of those I can use. I can also use the wheels on the back and that cover if I need it right there. So there's a lot of good parts still on this mower, but unfortunately it will be a parts mower. Let me know about your experiences with these Craftsman front wheel drive mowers. And until the next time, blessings from my shop to yours.